So we're going to use partial fractions. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do in order to get this into the correct form is I'm going to express this as two sets of brackets. So remember, it's got to add to give you this middle number and multiply to give you the end number. So I'm looking for two numbers that add to give me -1 and multiply to give me -6. So that's going to be -3 and +2. So x is equal to, or x -3, x plus 2. And you can see here it does hint to you what those numbers should be. In a case like this, it has to give it to you in the question, which is interesting. So if I want to get this into partial fractions, it means I'm trying to work out a over x minus 3 plus b over x plus 2. If I can get it into this form, then that means that I can integrate them, and they'll turn into ln functions. So that's what we want. That's what we're going to get. Okay, so to do that, think about how this needs to come together, okay? For these two to be multiplying on the bottom, this has to multiply that side, this one has to multiply that side. So I'm going to start by rewriting this out. A bracket x plus 2 plus b bracket x minus 3. That would all be over x minus 3 times x plus 2. And on this side, we've got 4x minus 17 all over x minus 3, x plus 2. Now, the reason why I've written it over these two fractions is because sometimes in your textbooks, they skip this step and you guys think it happens by magic. But what really happens is this part that I'm highlighting here, when it comes over to this side and multiplies that expression, it cancels out the bottom. So it will cancel this section out, and then I'm only left with the top section. So from there, all I have to do is state what I've got. 4x minus 17 is what's left on the left-hand side. Now I'm going to expand these brackets at the same time. So ax plus 2a plus bx minus 3b. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my x's and my 1's, and I'm going to separate them out. So 4x is going to be equal to a plus b, and the x can be factorized out on the outside. Now the pro of doing that is now I can take this x to the other side and cancel that x. So I'm left with 4 is equal to a plus b, meaning that now 4 minus a is equal to b. So I've got this in terms of b now, so I can put that back into my other equation later. Now the other one that I'm going to use is the minus 17 is equal to 2a minus 3b. But now we know that b is equal to this, which means I can replace that. So minus 17 is equal to 2a minus 3 bracket 4 minus a. So minus 17 is equal to 2a minus 12 plus 3a. Now I'm going to start moving my terms around. So when this comes over to the other side, it's going to add minus 17 plus 12 and make minus 5. And these ones over here will be left with 5a, meaning that therefore a equals -1. And when I substitute that back in over here, 4 minus 1, for b is going to be equal to +5. Okay, so all of that work was so that I could rewrite this fraction with a -1 above here and a 5 above there. Okay, so let's do that now. So now when we're integrating, we're going to be integrating -1 over x minus 3 plus 5 over x plus 2 with respect to x. Now this looks like something that we can do. So first thing I'm going to do, it's going to be -1 ln x minus 3 plus 5 ln x plus 2. Now, the next thing about this question, there should be a plus c on here, sorry. plus constant. Okay, so up here you can see that they want your answer expressed as ln, and then there's one single term in the bracket plus c. It's not two different terms of ln, so I'm not finished yet. So next thing that I need to do is I'm going to apply the rules that I know about ln functions. So if these are at the front, that means they were powers and they've just come down. So they can go back up the top here. That'll have a power of -1. That'll have a power of 5 above it. Now, when I've got two ln functions that are adding, that means you multiply what's happening in the bracket. So that's going to become ln x minus 3 to the power of -1, x plus 2 to the power of 5 plus c. Now, I would argue that that would be the correct answer as well. You couldn't really say that it asked you to make it simpler there, but in your answers, they've gone one step further. They've just gone, okay, this is a negative power. Let's express them all as positive powers. So it'll be x plus 2 to the power of 5 for the top bracket, all over x minus 3 on the bottom bracket, plus c. As much of a muchness, these two things are the same. So you'd get 1 mark for expressing this final form, 1 mark for getting it to this point, 1 mark for determining A and B, and 1 mark for identifying at the very beginning that you wanted to get this. This is what partial fractions was asking you for.